is to see how social software is sort of moving out of the social open web and moving into places that have boundaries, like education and the workplace. So I'm just going to show you some early work that we did that sort of has set a center for us, and then show you some of the work that we're doing in the productivity space, work that we see a lot of students doing, which is pretty interesting, and then also show some kind of fun, cool game-making tools that we're making for kids. So first, we talked a little bit about simplicity, and a long time ago we went out to a mall. We just wanted to understand how people think about other people that they interact with, and it took people about 10 seconds or maybe 30 seconds if they were slow to draw pictures like this, them in the center and groups of important people around them. And if you look at the little close friends group with the CG and the PM, those people sit in multiple groups. And what I think is interesting is if you think of all the progress that we've made on social networks, if you look at somebody's friends in Facebook or you look at someone's friends in Twitter, you really don't reflect a few things here that a person has drawn in about 20 seconds, which is the people I care about that I actually interact with stand out, and people are organized into groups, and these groups change over time without me really drawing this every day. I just have this mental model in my head over time. And so what we did a while back is we tried to say maybe we can model this for the user because we know people are never actually going to bother to organize their contacts. So we created this little prototype, and it's pretty old now, but I think it's still pretty interesting. And what we do is we just mine your inbox, and we look at how frequently you email people, and that's sort of your most important people, and then who you email together, and that clusters them together. And so this is sort of my map, and centered on me, but if I want to focus on one of my coworkers, like Steve, you can see here that he actually exists in multiple groups. So for example, if I emailed, let me just adjust these a little bit, Tom and Steve, my research team might show up, whereas if I emailed Steve and Pat, the rest of the people that we've been working on with a lot of the big Twitter stuff might appear. So one of the things that we've just been thinking about for a long time is how can you just watch what people are doing and help people organize the people that they interact with and really model the way people actually think about the people that they interact with. So a long time ago, again, I'm sort of going back through history. Let's see here. We created this social network called Wallop. And Wallop we spun out as a startup. And one of the coolest things about Wallop that I wish someone would copy is we had this little profile list on the side. And basically we took that personal map and we used it, but instead of using who you email, we said, okay, who do you comment on, who do you talk to, who have you invited, and then you could also manipulate that yourself and pin people. So you could see as you looked at anybody in the social network who they actually cared about. And I just think that was so powerful because you could really get a model of someone by seeing their social network. And if you look at Rick, my boss, who was using this, you can see his network's smaller, and some people are grayed out. So the other thing that we did is if you interact in a lot of social networks, a lot of people are dead nodes, and it just makes for a really lousy UI because you click on someone and then you notice, well, this person hasn't done anything for a long time. So we just tried to show that in the user interface that not everybody is active. In a sense, in a lot of these systems, if you're inactive, you're going to get a really different experience if you click on that person than if you click on someone who is. So these are just really simple things that I think are still missing in a lot of our social tools. Highlighting people that you actually interact with, clustering those for people, and then sort of de-emphasizing certain people who might not be as important for you. After doing a lot of this work a long time ago, the team went and we actually worked on Windows for a while, and when we came back to research, we thought, well, you know, the social space is pretty crowded, and those years that we went and worked on Windows, you know, just a lot has happened. So what should we do? What should we work on? And I went to the CIO Summit, which is held at Microsoft. I think a few other companies have them, and they were all talking about, oh my God, what do we do? There's all this social stuff. Everybody in our company is using Facebook and LinkedIn to communicate. You know, what do we do? And I thought this was really interesting because I thought, well, I love all this social stuff. And I also happen to work in a really big company. And so I know what kind of constraints and structure exists in a big company.